Right. Great last discussion. We've carried on talking, haven't we, afterwards? And that sort of thought, well, we've got a few things, more things to say, really. And one of the things that I want to ask all of you, and Tina, I'd ask you first of all, is who's been the most influential leader in your life or career? And what was it about how they showed up that made a lasting impact?
Yeah, thanks, Mark. So probably the most influential person who I spoke about on the podcast is a lady called Marilyn Ramsden, 76 years old now. Sorry, I shouldn't have said her age, but I think the thing for me that was most impactful was she didn't just take a chance on me, and she didn't just offer me a job. She offered me opportunity, belief, mentorship, and the point about belief is that she was willing to take a chance on me and believed in me in perhaps a way I didn't believe in myself. And
that's
that
really
was
powerful thing to do, isn't it?
Yeah, and that was just completely life-changing for me, because suddenly I was in a situation where someone believed in me for no other reason than what they saw in front of them. And
they saw that sparkle in you and went, that person can be something very special.
Yeah. And that's probably for me the most instrumental thing.
Brilliant.
Interesting, thank you. And Dan?
I'm sorry, Mark, I've got 4 names written on this list, so
it's like the Oscars.
Let's be really brief. So there's a guy who I think a few of us know, Sasha Kakrasevich. Sasha was really influential for that exact same reason. I met Sasha when I must have been, 28 or so. I didn't know much at all, but he invited me into various different networks, various different arenas, mentored me without any, I don't think he got any benefit back from it that I could tell. But he just saw something and was very positive. And I'd probably put maybe 2 or 3 of the jobs that I've got over my career down to his guidance and support. The one that I will definitely mention is sentimentally, probably my mother, just because she did this very simple thing, and I suppose it doesn't happen so much now, but she used to just direct me to the dictionary and say, well, you can find that out, or direct me to the encyclopedia and say, you can find that out. And I think that getting into that habit of knowing that I could solve things myself.
Inquisitive nature.
Yeah, curiosity, that the answers are out there, go and find them. Turns out exceptionally helpful. Obviously, I've got my wife on the list. I've also got Anna Lodge on the list, who we know as well, who was brilliant when I was suffering from kind of mental health at work, and she was amazingly supportive. But I will pause there.
Excellent, John.
And I think there's something really interesting about that conversation, isn't it? Because you mentioned about Sasha, and he's a great person, and you were saying about mentoring. Did he purposely mentor you, or do you think you just were allowed him to mentor you without him even realising? Because there's a big difference. I think quite often I've had that with some people that I've just gravitated to and learned from when they haven't even realised we've been doing it, because actually that's really impressive. I want to grab that bit and then put it into me somehow.
Interesting. I mean, I hope actually if we asked him, he wouldn't talk about mentoring, he'd just say that we're friends.
And that's what I mean.
Which might be what it is, you know.
Yeah. And that's the difference, isn't it? Sometimes people give a lot without even realising.
Yes.
And that's certainly where I was. So for me, I was young, dumb, just come out of the naughty 90s. Was a bit of a rough diamond, I guess, and had a very sort of dazed outlook on life. And a guy called David Rouse, he was my regional manager as an estate agent. And I was saying earlier, I would just not turn up for work, but he would not have it. He would just literally phone me and say, you better be done with dead, and you better be in here now. But he wouldn't make me feel bad.
Yeah.
He would bring me in and go, right, come on, let's get you moving, let's get you going. And actually that really built me up, because somebody believed that I could do more than what I was thinking I could do myself, a bit like you were saying. And then we go through your career, and your life changes, doesn't it? And certainly when I had kids, I went through a really bad relationship. And again, sometimes the most fundamental people are when you're in a bad place. What you were saying about you had some challenges at work and that person helped you, is someone sees that in you at that moment, says actually you need to be saved, you need to be picked up and supported. And some people hit you right at that moment in time and help you for no other reason, the fact that they know you're a good person, you deserve it. And that doesn't mean that everyone deserves help, don't they? But I think for you it's very personal, that moment, isn't it? That person's there at that moment with the right words, and they pick you up and they send you off. And then there's other people like Ian. Ian's been great in my life, and you, Mark, you've been great in my life. And I think you just go around these people, don't you? You learn from them, you selfishly take from them, but also you hope you give back. Yes. And it's not about mentoring for me. It's like what you said. You hope Shash would say, actually, Dan and I are really good friends.
Yeah. And
we've just had conversations as friends, and you've taken really positive stuff out of that. And that's where I've been with David and Ian and Mark and Georgie Adams. I don't know if you know Georgie, she's a nurse at the RZN, she's just retired. When I went to work at the hospital, she literally just was the first person who said, come on, let's give you a job.
Yeah.
And I had no expertise in care at all. So my whole care career is thanks to Georgie. So Georgie, thank you. But they are fundamental times where in my life I was probably personally having some sort of trauma, maybe, and they came in and went, no, we're going to redirect you in a better direction.
Very good. That's reflect upon what's been said, and maybe I can add to that as well, because you got me thinking. The people who've had the most influence, certainly in my life, are those people who see you at your best and your worst. Don't judge you.
Yes.
And where you feel that because we are all imperfect, showing those vulnerabilities, being authentic in yourself, and enables you, and they recognise that potential. So even if you don't believe in it yourself, and I think we all talked about maybe, as maybe high functioning individuals who maybe don't always believe in ourselves, actually having someone to actually believe in us at a critical moment is really important. So I've had people in my life. Certainly, my wife, goodness knows what she sees in me, but she obviously sees potential and she believes in me a hell of a lot more than I do. At moments of crisis, when people don't turn up and they don't judge you, and certainly people like my brother, John, you've always been there and turned up.
I always turn up.
Usually driven 100 miles and turned up with a coffee unannounced and said you're having a rubbish day. You're right. And I think people who make themselves available and don't judge, who believe in you. So if you've got those people in your lives, they help you become resilient and help you achieve some of the potential that we deserve to achieve. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, the nice thing about that is all of the people in this room are probably that person to somebody else. So I think that comes with responsibility as well, doesn't it? So, like when you said, I've driven 100 miles to see you for a coffee that day, that's because I realised that you weren't in a good space that day. But I think you have to be mindful that you can't always go there with the answers. Sometimes you just have to open a door and give them the opportunity to find the answer themselves. And there's something about that with leadership as well, isn't it? Sometimes your team will come to you and they will say, I have this problem, fix it. You'll say, wonderful, you've got a problem. What do you think? And then they'll tell you the answer. And then they feel empowered. So I think there's something really a big responsibility on you as friends and colleagues to sort of say, I will turn up for you, but you also have to help yourself. If I open a door, stand up and we'll go together, but you do have to hold hands and go together. I can't tell you how to do it.
So I do this exercise with people that helps them work out what they think leadership means, and you just say to them, bring to mind the sorts of people that we've been talking about, people who you respect for their leadership, and what is it that they do. And hardly ever is it about the person's knowledge or the fact they answer questions, that they have achieved certain things. The list is like kind, supportive, helpful, empathetic. And that's what you're saying. You turn up, do those things. That really helps. So yeah, I agree with you.
Well, that's a really good intro. This is like a teaser to the main podcast. Maybe we should put this out first.
Okay.
There you go. So, this podcast was run by you. Final thoughts on that moment then. So, what we've all discussed, what's the final thought for this 4-minute conversation?
I think it's what you're saying is, how do you be that person for somebody else? So there are clearly people that have impacted you, made a great difference. Bring them to mind, then realise it will not take very much to do that for somebody else, and find an opportunity, and you could change their lives.